All right, folks, today I'm going to be teaching you how to sample in Logic Pro 10. This can also carry back into Logic Pro 9 and 8, I believe, essentially the same method. So without further ado, let's get to it. First, you're going to want to pull up a project, an empty project, or whatever you're working on, really. But you will need two tracks. You'll need an audio track. You'll notice that I have this one already set in the project right here. Right now it's titled 06 Flora's Secret. We'll get back to that in a second. The second one is an EXS24 sampler. So if you go into your project, you can go up here and click this, this plus sign if you need to add those. You'll notice for the software instrument, you can come down here and select EXS24 sampler and get that in there, or select an audio track. So again, both of those are needed for this sampling process. The second thing we'll want to do for sampling is find a song or an audio clip recording of someone talking or singing, or if it's an instrumental, whatever you want, whatever you need to sample, just find it in your media finder over here, the top right hand corner, in iTunes or GarageBand, wherever you're storing it. Just for the sake of this project, I challenged myself to do Enya's Flora's Secret. So that's what you're going to be hearing in a second. So go ahead and drag and drop that file, or whatever. Go ahead and drag and drop your file onto the audio lane right here. And essentially what you'll want to do is go in and cut out the bits that you want to sample. So if I extend this region here, let me zoom in a bit. There was this part that I wanted to sample right here. I'll let you have a listen. Here's a listen. Da da da. So I'm going to cut this out. You can do that by, if you know the section, place a playhead where you want it cut and just hit Command and T. That splits it. You can delete the rest or whatever if you want to keep going through and say like, oh, I want this section and this section, and again, all I'm doing here is Command T to get those split at the playhead. So delete any excess sections that you don't want. Right now I'm just going to be playing with 3 little portions. If you hit X on your keyboard, X brings up the mixer. That's the hotkey for the mixer. What we'll want to do is double click on the EXS24, and you'll want to go up here to Edit and click Edit. Bring this guy down so we can see our arranging window. And what you'll want to do is highlight all of your samples and drag them onto this EXS24 sampler editor. Drop them. It'll say, it'll give you 3 options, starting with specific zones. You can auto map or use drum zones without range, root key from the audio file. I always do the contiguous zones, so hit OK. And right here, it shows you the audio files that you have sampled. Right down here, you'll be able to see that each one of these is assigned. So we have C1, we got C#1, and then we have D1. And those respectively correspond to this sample, top left, the middle, and then this right sample. And you'll be able to hear those if you click on the EXS24 and then play it on your MIDI keyboard. Whatever, you can play around with it. Don't exit out of the EXS24 sampler, it will close your window. So what you can do over here is assign pitches. Right now they're pitched. I'll take that off so the pitch doesn't change if I move them around on the keyboard. What you can also do is make these one shot or not. Essentially, if it's a one shot, I can press the key, and as soon as I take my finger off the key, it's still going to play. It's still playing. If I take one shot off, every time I take my finger off, it will stop playing. So you have to keep your finger on to play. So sometimes one shot is good, sometimes it's not, whatever. As you can see over here, you can reverse those. You can set the key range, all this sort of stuff. You can even drop samples on top of each other. So for instance, you could have two, you could move that on top of the first one to get this layered kind of effect. You can even do 3, you know, whatever. Kind of an interesting deal. But essentially, that's how you sample in a nutshell. If you have any questions, let me know. This is super basic, but it's a fast track to get you started. So have fun sampling. See ya.